Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and start with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of Fernandinho, Tataviam, Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University, Northridge, honors their elders past and present, and the descendants who are citizens of the Fernandinho, Tataviam, Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. I'm going to hand it over to Government Secretary Moss for the roll call.
Vice President Khan,
Here.
Senator Aronson, Senator Ellis,
Here.
Senator Flores,
Here.
Senator Gavino, Senator Jimeniano Aragon,
Here.
Senator Harris,
Here.
Senator Covenia,
Here.
Senator Miyoshi,
Here.
Senator Nunez,
Here.
Senator Olgan,
Here.
Senator Perez,
Here.
Senator Pulliam, Senator Weda, Senator Shirzadi,
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza,
Here.
Senator Tran.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Shirzadi.
I move to approve the agenda of November 25th, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on the approval of today's agenda? Seeing no discussion, if there are no objections to the approval of today's agenda, it will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, the November 25th, 2024 agenda passes unanimously. We'll now move on to the approval of the minutes from November 18th, 2024. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Shirzadi.
I move to approve the minutes of November 18th, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Flores. Any discussion on the approval of the November 18th minutes? Seeing no discussion, if there are no objections to the approval of the November 18th, 2024 minutes, they will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, the minutes pass unanimously. We'll now move past special presentation into open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Is there anyone here for open forum?
As much as I can be, yes. Good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is James Forster. I serve as the AS Programs Manager, here to just give you all an update about some of our events. Easy update. So there's no events this week. We do not have a farmer's market because typically there's a lot less attendance of students on campus this week, and so our vendors typically get a lot less traffic. So in order to make things a little bit easier, there's no market this week. However, the market will return next week for our final farmer's market of the semester. So that'll be from 10 to 2:30 out on Lindley, as you all can expect there. And then the last event for productions for the semester will be on Wednesday in this room here, as our finals are a drag event. So we'll be having we'll be doing drag bingo, as well as having some drag performances, awesome prizes, some final supplies, snacks and drinks and things like that. So that is Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. here in this room. And those are our last two events of the semester. So thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, James. Anyone else here for open forum? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move into reports, starting with mine. I have quite a short report, but good morning, everyone. Happy holiday week. I guess holiday weekend, sure. Last week I didn't really do that much because I was out sick for a couple days. I'm still kind of recovering. But I had just a couple meetings. So Vice President Carrera had the chance to meet with Provost Kamaraju and Vice Provost Bora, where we kind of just update each other on how, what's going on and, on both ends of our spectrums. And we had our, I think, 9th CSUN Ready ad hoc committee meeting. So this committee, I think I mentioned it before, but this committee is comprised of individuals from the TUC, myself, a community member, and members of the faculty senate that are distinctively not happy with CSUN Ready. So those faculty senate members are still not happy with the program. But still discussing it, still talking about it. These meetings are monthly, so I won't get a real glimpse of how faculty senate is feeling about it until the next faculty senate meeting, which should be a week or two from now. Vice President Khan and I also had a chance to meet with Dr. Watkins last week. Again, just a little updates meeting. And that's actually all I did last week. Because I was sick. But I hope you all have been doing well. This is probably going to be my shortest report to record. Have a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If you know a cabinet member, let them know that cabinet is canceled this week. What else is there? Oh, I have it right here. I am going to send the names of the people that have let me know about the meeting with the CSU trustee as soon as the Senate meeting's over. If last minute you want to say, yes, I want to be there, or last minute you're like, wait, I can't be there, let me know as soon as this meeting's over, because I'm going to send them as soon as this meeting's over. But that's it. Have a great Thanksgiving. Campus is dead. Enjoy that. Are there any questions on my report? Senator Gavino.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted, thank you. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the Vice President's report with Vice President Khan.
Good morning. I also have, it's not as short as Katie's, but a shorter report. So last week I went to the USU Board of Directors meeting as the Associated Students Liaison. Some things that I took out of it was that they're planning on adding more signage in the USU, which I was like, yes, finally. I remember my first time like going to a Senate meeting, like I had such a hard time finding the Grand Salon. And I was like, I wish there was signage. And now hopefully it's happening soon. And then they also, since we're like wrapping up the year, talked about all of their events that they had. I think the executive director's report was like 18 pages long of like just events and outcomes. So next semester, if any of your constituents or you are looking to get involved, I would just suggest referring them to the USU because they have something going on 24/7. It's actually amazing. And then I also attended the University Advising Leadership Council, which is a new council that was created by the provost, and it has to do with advising. And so the people in attendance were associate deans, advisors, and enrollment and retention specialists, and then me. And I was the only student in the room, which I'm going to try to talk to the chair about and see if we can get more students in that room because I think it's really important to get our perspective on advisement due to the fact that we are the ones experiencing advisement. And one major thing that kept coming up in this meeting was the first-time freshmen and a lack of a proper transition. And so I kind of provided a lot of counters and general pointers from a student's perspective about like, well, what are we doing to provide a transition? And what are we offering right now that is, lacking? Because we can't just put blame on students all the time. Like it's not fair. So I was glad I was in that room because I was like listening and I was like, why is everything our fault? Anyways, so the campus is moving towards a caseload system where advisors are going to stick with some like cases, so students throughout their entirety of their journey at CSUN. So it's going to kind of make the hub smaller. I believe the hub is going to stay for undeclared students, but for declared students, they'll go straight into their college advising system. And I really think it'll be helpful. I think it'll be a lot more personable and really help with that transition and that relationship with advisors in general. And then right after that, we had the meeting with the provost and vice provost, and we talked about the exact same things, advisement and retention. I was also in the meeting with Dr. Watkins, and one of the things that we always discuss is the time, place, manner policy. And there is exciting news. Finally, there was an amendment made, and you can find that on the website. I think the Polystat website. And the amendment was regarding face coverings, which was a very, very big concern to students. And so now it says they are acceptable to wear when students are engaging in demonstration or around campus, etc. And I just think this is fantastic. It really shows that the student voice is being heard because this was one of CSSA's proposed amendments and it was heard and change was made. And so if, you've been like at a standstill being like, well, what are we even doing? This is what we're doing. We're changing policy. It's amazing. And then we also talked about student engagement and athletics in particular. So that's exciting because we want to see athletics make a comeback from the student engagement perspective. And then I did meet with Daniel from marketing. Hey. And we talked about the deaf and hard of hearing resources for marketing materials. And I learned that on our print materials, it's always there. And then on social media, on stories, it tends to get cut off. But then in the description on the main post, it has that resource. So if a constituent ever comes up to you and they're like, we don't know how to access the resource, they can find it typically on the print material or on the grid posts on Instagram. I don't know what they're called, like main posts. I like to call it the grid. And then we kind of talked about like looking ahead and how to streamline processes for next semester when you all do your events again. And some general reminders, Senate meetings start at 9, Katie should be calling the meeting to order at 9 a.m. So please keep that in mind. I know we only have 2 meetings left after this, but for next semester and the remainder of this semester, Senate meetings should start at 9. If you need something, please ask. We are very flexible and we love when you communicate with us. So please keep that in mind. For any committees you're a part of that are CSUN committees, so campus committees, not AS, a lot of times they use the box, like Dropbox formerly. And I've been hearing that some people don't have access. Please, in the future, if you have issues like this, please ask because there's typically an easy solution. So if you don't have access to the box, just email your chair. They'll give access to your CSUN email. And from there, you can access it. We don't have access to our AS emails. But through your EDU email, you will. And it is final season, at least for me. So if you are experiencing the same turmoil as I am, please take care of yourself. Keep a healthy life balance and communicate with us. Again, if you need anything, if you need leeway, express it. We're here to help. And you can't be student leaders without being a student in good standing. And I'm going to close my report by saying start thinking ahead for next semester. It approaches faster than we think. And I am very excited to, close out this year and see what comes next year. That ends my report. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions on the Vice President's report? Senator Ueda?
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Okay, seeing none. We'll move on to the Chief of Staff's report. Chief of Staff Ramos isn't here, so I will be giving the cabinet reports on her behalf. So to begin, our Chief of Staff Ramos, she has been continuing planning AS leadership training, which will be on January 15th. So please mark that on your calendars. That is the day before Reboot Camp. And she is collaborating with Vice President Khan for the Spring Welcome Week planning. Our Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Joy Nat, the week of November 18th, which was last week, was our DEI week, which we called Together We Thrive, and it was successfully ran by the DEI committee and himself, and he is very proud of the committee for helping throughout the weeks. The highlighted days were definitely the Revolutionary Scholars Mixer, as well as our first ever deaf and hard of hearing event called Bridging Worlds. And then his committee and himself will slowly start working on DEI week for spring 2025, where they will be focusing on different DEI organizations around campus to foster more inclusive space, and he will have updates soon. With Chair of Legislative Affairs Sarabia, the Lobby Corps has discussed chess and plans for next semester. Lobby Corps did not meet last week, and they'll be giving a tour to the Cal State LA Chair of Legislative Affairs of Oh, of CSUN, yeah. Cal State LA giving, yeah, touring CSUN, yes. And this is an extra that she put in. Please go to the AMC town hall planned by our amazing Ella and Isaac. Our chair personnel and communications, Uribe, working on interviews and eligibility checks. She'll be posting on Instagram 2 posts of the week and send it in a minute. So it's 3 total posts. And she'll be filming the AMC town hall as well as a happy holidays video. Our chair of elections, Lezama, wanted to talk about how the AS elections logo is in progress with AS marketing. The elections calendar has been approved by the elections committee and it is on a special meeting agenda today to be voted on by the Senate. And elections committee subcommittees have been assigned. And the assistant chair of elections has nothing to report. That is all for the chief of staff's report. Is there any questions? Senator Teodoro Carranza.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the Chair of Finances report with Chair Ponce.
Hey everyone, good morning. First off, I hope you all had a great weekend. I'll start off with the account funds. So currently under STAR, we have $153,700. In unassigned contingency, we have $698,887. In the philanthropy fund, we have $15,000. In clubs and organizations travel and organizations unassigned, since they're now combined, there is a balance of $25,000. And in terms of my report, with Finance 101 sessions, there has been an influx of students, especially as the deadline for the annual budget is approaching. I've gotten a couple students through walk-ins, but a lot of them have been through appointment, so I've just been updating that list. From Finance Committee last week, we have 2 new business items, which will hopefully get voted on today. One is from the Child and Adolescent Development Association, and the other is from the Health Administration Student Association. And then on this week's finance agenda, there is no new business items. There's just discussion items. We're going to be talking about the hospitality policy and the different forms that are going to go along with it. And yeah, I am just continuing to work on preparing for the annual budget process. The annual budget is set to close December 6th at 11:59, and Finance 101 sessions end December 2nd. And lastly, just continuing to work on stars and supplemental requests. That is it for my report.
Thank you so much, Chair Ponce. Are there any discussion or questions on the Chair of Finance report? Senator Pulliam.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Okay, seeing none. Since our Attorney General is still not yet kind of HR appointed yet, so she's not here yet. So we're gonna move past her report. And we'll go into standing committee reports with the External Affairs with Senator Geminiano Aragon.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. For the External Affairs Committee, last week we went back to the TPM resolution. I mentioned some of the changes I made, and we had some great feedback from our advisor. So that was great to change some of the wording, but also to remember some of the main points that we have discussed on previous weeks. So this week I'll bring that back with the changes that happened, or the amendments that happened within the policy, and also how would that change our standing as AS. Also, the Chair of Legislative Affairs, Saravia, she invited the Chair of Legislative Affairs from CSU LA. So hopefully we're going to meet with her during our meeting today. And of course, we're going to bring back, well, not bring back, but we are going to begin discussing our 3 new legislative referrals. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the External Affairs report? Seeing none, we'll move into the Internal Affairs report with Senator Gavino.
Good morning, everyone. Internal Affairs is currently wrapping up some of our referrals for the semester, just making sure we have all the research that we've done into reports, or at least through informal means, so that way the next members of the Internal Affairs Committee can pick up where we left off if those referrals are to be resubmitted. We're currently reviewing all the chair codes, as there's been a referral in internal to transfer those codes to HR job descriptions because the cabinet members are student employees. That hasn't been decided on, but just in case it does get approved or it's recommended to do so, we're reviewing all the chair codes because those would be the basis for the new job descriptions. So it's important that we still have input there, so we're looking at them. That's all for internal. Outside of internal, I attended the ad hoc faculty meeting that I believe President Crew mentioned. Yes, he's ready. Ad hoc. Yes. It was informative, as all those meetings always are. And also, Senator Perez and I are having our event today behind Manzanita Hall in the Manzanita lawn from 1 to 3. Stop by. It'll be good. It's cold, but it'll be fun. So, yeah, that's all from me this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the internal affairs report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the university repairs report. Senator Tran, do you have a report?
Yeah, we're at University Affairs. We're just working on all our referrals and we're finishing up with them. And thank you for our team's work.
Thank you. Is there any questions on the university affairs report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the interim AS executive director's report with Tim Shapansky.
Good morning, everyone. Want to thank everyone who has signed up for the CSU trustees visit. Really appreciate that. A couple of updates from some program areas. This weekend, Outdoor Adventures is sending a group of students to the Redwoods up north to go backpacking and to Zion National Park to do a camp and explore. This last weekend, our hockey team won 2 games in Utah. And this weekend, our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu team took first in a home tournament that they had here. And then for the next month, our HR manager, John Dobler, is out on leave. So if you do have anything that you need, you'll send that either to me or to our HR coordinator, Cindy Cerna. So we'll help you in the meantime. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, and sorry, there's like 2 weeks left after this week. So find time to breathe. If you don't celebrate this weekend, find time to sleep and get ready for finals. So you have 2 weeks after this week. So
Thank you, Tim. Are there any questions on the AS, the executive director's report? Seeing none, we'll move into the university advisor's report with Asia Butler. She is not here, so move past her report into the faculty advisor's report with Dr. Veda Ward.
Good morning. I hope I can get through this without coughing. I hope you had a great weekend as well. We're all looking forward to the holiday season, hopefully, and I hope that's going to be a great one for you. I would like to just jump off at this time by reminding you that while you're balancing a lot of your academic work at this point, I know that you're human beings and that you all have families, friends, etc. I'm hoping that you will reach out to someone during this time because not everybody's get-togethers over these holidays are going to be positive. So just be there for someone. Just think about those who may not be going through the greatest times when their families get together. Things always go off. There's always the unexpected. And I know that you all are so amazingly mature and responsible. So I'm hoping that nothing like that goes on. But if it does, just be aware and remember that you have the resources and abilities to be good friends and good supports for those in your family and around you. As we head into the final weeks of the semester, there's not much left after Thanksgiving this year. And during that time, your faculty are also preparing for spring, as we've mentioned, doing advising, but also there will be training courses during the late fall, early winter break, during which faculty will be able to upgrade their skills, be involved in specific training programs, etc. So you may be hearing about some of those things. If you think a faculty member could benefit, please let them know. We want your input on those processes as well. And of course, remembering that all of your faculty are using these times to prepare for the coming semester. So that will be hopefully to the advantage of you as well as your constituents. So I am hoping that you'll have a great holiday. Do, as Tim said, take a deep breath, get some fresh air if you possibly can, and be ready for that final draw as we go into the final exam period. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ward. Any questions on the faculty advisors report? Senator Toledo Carranza,
Permission to be recognized.
granted. Okay, seeing none, we'll move past unfinished business into new business. First one being the approval of the appointment of Brooklyn Fenton for the Communications Committee. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Pulliam.
I move to approve Brooklyn Fenton for the Communication Committee.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on this appointment? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving Brooklyn Fenton for the Communications Committee, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations to Brooklyn. Okay, we'll move into the finance recommendations now. Really quick thing to preface before I ask for motions. So I guess from now on, guess I was unaware, you'll have to state the breakdown when making the motion for approving a certain amount of money. So the breakdowns are on the documents that are attached to the Senate agenda. So for example, for the first one, the finance recommendations should be on attachment 2, which is the last page of the whole packet that was sent to you all. So the breakdown is when it says Finance Committee recommendation breakdown. Obviously it's a recommendation. You don't have to approve that amount, but it's recommended that you approve that amount. But when you're making the motion, I would suggest you start with whatever the actual motion is stating and then go into the breakdown. Right, Denise? Okay. So, does that make sense to everyone? I'll take questions before that, just in case. So we're all on the same page. So from now on, this is how we have to be approving finance recommendations. Does that make sense? Because it has to be reflected on the minutes. Okay. Is there a motion on the floor for the first finance recommendation to allocate $1,045 from unassigned contingency to the Child and Adolescent Development Association? Senator Gavino.
I move to allocate $1,045 from unassigned contingency to the Child and Adolescent Development Association for the 2024-2025 academic year, consisting of $845 in social event advertising and workshop supplies, $100 in room rental fees, and $100 in parking fees.
Thank you so much. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Flores. Any discussion on that motion? No discussion? Senator Toledo Carranza.
One question. So for the first one, it says social events, advertising, and worship supplies. Is there any breakdown of the 845 of the 3 elements that we have for number 1?
Chair Ponce.
Yeah, so in their initial request, a lot of those supplies were like markers, paper, I believe it was like name tags in that instance. So it's a bunch of like those things. And we put no Cricut machine because we don't fund materials and we don't fund pins or stuff of that sort. So the breakdown is mainly going towards like I mentioned, mainly like markers, paper of that sort.
Senator Olgan.
Just to clarify, they asked for 1,145 and they're eligible for only 1,045. So $100 missing because of no Cricut machine. Yes. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Yeah, Senator Saloto Carranza.
I think I didn't rephrase my question right. I was asking for the 845 that is going to social events, advertising, and worship supplies. How is that being broken down by each item?
Chair Ponce. Oh, no, pending.
I'm pulling down their initial request. Yes, so 495 of that is for supplies for social events. So like I mentioned, um, it's going towards supplies like pencils, canvases, paintbrushes, markers, colored pencils, scissors, uh, tote bags that they're going to decorate, picture frames. And then supplies for advertising, it's going towards flyers, posters. They also have like social media ads and stuff. And then in that request, they mentioned that it would be $100 for a Cricut machine, which is why we allocated the $230 amount. And then workshop materials is like Post-it notes, markers. And the reason that we combined it all together is because they're all classified as materials. So it makes it a lot easier on accounting's end. And room rentals and parking fees are typically separate items when accounting processes it. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none. Okay, we could take this to a vote. All in favor of approving? Give me a sec. The allocation of $1,045 from unassigned contingency to the Child and Adolescent Development Association for the 2024-25 academic year, consisting of $845 for social events, advertising, and workshop supplies, $100 for room rental fees, and $100 for parking fees. Raise your hand if you are in favor. Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, second one, last one. To allocate $1,560 from unassigned contingency to the Health Administration Student Association for their Health and Social Equity Forum. Please make the motion in the similar fashion. Nice, Senator Gavino.
I move to allocate $1,560 from unassigned contingency to the Health Administration Student Association for their Health and Social Equity Forum, consisting of $175 for table and equipment rentals, $85 for supplies, including name tags, badges, and pens, $1,100 for presenter speaker fees, $50 for program printing, and $150 for signage and tablecloths.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Shizzetti. Any discussion on this motion? Senator Gavino.
So for presenter speaker fee, it's 400 max per speaker, but the given amount or the recommended amount, $1,100, isn't a multiple of 400. Is there a reason for that?
Chair Ponce?
Yeah, so typically I just put that note so that the clubs know that they can't spend more than 400 on one speaker. But for their events, they're going to have multiple speakers. So that 1,100 amount is going to multiple.
Thank you. Senator Miyoshi.
So how many speakers do they have for this
Forum.
I believe Chair Ponce is pulling that up.
Yeah, so they didn't list out how many they're going to have. That's why I put that note, but by the looks of it, they're going to be having multiple.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we can take this to a vote. All in favor of allocating $1,560 from unassigned contingency to the Health Administration Student Association for their Health and Social Equity Forum, which consists of table and equipment rentals for $175, supplies including name tags, badges, and pens for $85, presenter speaker fee for a $400 max per speaker for $1,100, program printing for $50, and signage and table costs for $150. Please raise your hand if you're in favor. Okay, this passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we'll move past information items, discussion items, and legislative referrals into announcements. Are there any announcements from the board? Government Secretary Moss.
I'm actually going to recommend everybody go to Finals Are a Drag because Charles Gallen King is one of my favorite drag kings of all time, and you will love them.
Thank you. We will all be there. Senator Perez.
Thank you. So we, again, just like Isaac said, we have our event today on the Manzanita lawn from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So please stop by.
Please stop by. I'm joking. I'm going to be there. I'm going to try to be there. I have meetings, but I'll try to be there. AMC student for the win. Any other announcements? Okay. So really quick, we do have a special meeting agenda in approximately 5 minutes. So please just hang around in here. We will do roll call. Then I will call the next meeting to order at 9:45. Okay. So we'll move into final roll call with Government Secretary Moss.
Vice President Khan.
Here.
Senator Aronson. Senator Ellis.
Here.
Senator Flores.
Here.
Senator Gavina.
Here.
Senator Jimeniano Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris.
Here.
Senator Covenia.
Here.
Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Senator Nunez.
Here.
Senator Olgan.
Here.
Senator Perez.
Here.
Senator Pulliam.
Here.
Senator Weta.
Here.
Senator Shirzadi.
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza.
Here.
Senator Tran.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will adjourn this meeting at 9:40 a.m. So please hang around in here. You can use the bathroom, come back, but please make sure to be back by 9:45. And if you haven't already, please review the elections calendar right now. If you haven't already, review the elections calendar. That's what we'll be voting on in 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. It is 9:45. I will call this special meeting to order at 9:45 a.m. I'll hand this over to Government Secretary Moss for the roll call.
Vice President Khan,
Here.
Senator Aronson, Senator Ellis,
Here.
Senator Flores,
Here.
Senator Gavino,
Here.
Senator Jimeniano Aragon,
Here.
Senator Harris,
Here.
Senator Covenia,
Here.
Senator Miyoshi,
Here.
Senator Nunez,
Here.
Senator Olgun,
Here.
Senator Perez,
Here.
Senator Pulliam,
Here.
Senator Weta,
Here.
Senator Shirzadi,
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza,
Here.
Senator Tran.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Oh, thank you. We'll move past special presentation. Oh, my bad. We'll move into the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor for the approval of the special meeting agenda of November 25th, 2024? Senator Pulliam.
I move to approve the special agenda for November 25th.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Flores. Any discussion on the approval of today's special meeting agenda? Seeing none, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor of approving the special meeting agenda for November 25th, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. We'll move past special presentation into open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Is there anyone here for open forum? Okay, seeing none. We'll move past reports into new business. Our only item of new business is to approve the AS elections calendar for spring 2025. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Shirzadi.
I move to approve the AS elections calendar for spring 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Ellis. Is there any discussion? Senator Pulliam.
At the bottom of it, it talks about like the street team and like days for that. What exactly is street team?
So street team is essentially, think of them as people that are lobbying the elections. So kind of going out there and spreading the word about the elections and also answering questions for anyone that has elections related questions. So give me 1 second. Yeah, that's basically it. Senator Miyoshi. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It states that the elections filing is only available online. Is there any reason for that?
I think it is just convenience and making sure it's like streamlined. Vice President Khan.
Yeah, it's convenience, documentation, security of the documents. So everything's been accounted for.
Senator Harris.
What is the maximum amount for donations they can do?
I will. Denise, do you know the maximum amount for donations? I think it depends. It depends if it's for a ticket or for an individual candidate, or like an independent versus a slate. Like there's a difference in donation amounts. But if you'd like, would answering that question change your vote? No. Okay. I'm just like
No.
wondering. Like we could find the answer and then give it to you after.
Yeah,
Unless
just
Denise just found it.
curiosity.
Denise.
So it says individual donations, $50, clubs, organization, and community groups, $100.
Thank you. Okay. Any further discussion? Tim?
And just a quick follow-up on the street team. There'll be students that are brought in to work those days and they receive incentives to help answer all the questions that are going to happen on the days that the election is taking place, those 2 days.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Flores.
Sorry, quick question. Club competition participant, what is a club competition?
Club
Or
competition.
compensation, sorry.
Oh, club competition, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so club competition is essentially when we're voting for the elections, there's the list of all CSUN clubs are also going to be on the ballot. So every student that votes is also going to have the opportunity to vote for a club that could receive like a certain amount of money. And then I think depending on whatever decision the elections committee makes, it could be, like incentive based, like, oh, the top person gets this much money, second person gets this much money, third person gets this much money. But essentially you're like voting for a club that you want to support during the regular elections ballot.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. We can take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the AS elections calendar for spring 2025, please raise your hand. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll now move into final roll call with Government Secretary Moss.
Vice President Khan,
Here.
Senator Aronson, Senator Ellis,
Here.
Senator Flores,
Here.
Senator Gavino,
Here.
Senator Jimeniano Aragon,
Here.
Senator Harris,
Here.
Senator Covenia, here, Senator Miyoshi,
Here.
Senator Nunez,
Here.
Senator Olgun,
Here.
Senator Perez,
Here.
Senator Pulliam,
Here.
Senator Weta,
Here.
Senator Shirzadi,
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza,
Here.
Senator Tran.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will adjourn this meeting at 9:52 a.m. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a good break. Reminder, no school Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Bum, bum, bum.